Hello. We are here on
Hello.
live TVs, potentially, on your iPad. Talking about what are we talking about this week? I forget already.
The Sony PlayStation 1, I believe.
Wow. That is such a system.
My first console, released very close to my birthday, my true birthday.
Oh,
What was your first game for your first console?
It was Twisted Metal 2, actually. As a matter of
Wow.
fact,
Oh, what a fucking coincidence.
that and the first Crash Bandicoot. I was like, I think maybe like 3 years old when I was playing them, but I remember it. I remember like getting them happening at Christmas and
Giving Twisted
being-
Metal 2 to a 3-year-old, that's a
well, all
little bit.
my siblings are like a decade older than me, so it was just
Okay.
sort of incidental.
funny
Are
cars
you
go
the
boom.
youngest?
Funny Cars did go boom. Yes,
I was
I'm
really into Gex on PlayStation. I thought he was going to be like a household franchise
He
at the
is.
So
time.
you've won Ernie's heart.
Never worked out.
Can we get some Gex phrases about the podcast in the chat, please?
Yeah.
If you guys could cook some of those up.
My first AIM name was Gexachu because I really liked
Oh my
Pikachu
God.
and Gex. What was everybody's AIM names?
Mine was like aliens art because I liked aliens and I liked art.
That's amazing.
I think I don't know. I'd have to really dig deep for that one, and I don't know if I can sustain the psychic damage that'll cause me to think about. My first Hotmail email address was maybe the same as my AIM, which was SOAD Warship, as in System of a Down.
Oh, yeah.
Worship at hotmail.com.
Mine was Squallion Heart something.
Good.
Why is that?
I had a lot of. Oh, why was what? Why was
Why
Squall?
Squall?
Why Squall?
Yeah, what is that?
Because I
He's
just
way
played Final
fucking cooler
Fantasy
than
VIII.
Cloud. Yeah,
But then I
Squall had a
made my
gun and a
second
sword.
AIM name was just this name, Wanna Trade Pants, and that's been what I've named everything since.
It's stuck forever. we
I
have
had
some...
a lot of Gray Fox variations.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's PS1, yeah.
We're getting some Gex comments in chat.
Yeah, where my Gex people at?
Reminds me of Vinyl Miss at Rip Taylor.
Reminds me of Vinyl Miss at Rip Taylor's.
Is that Gex?
That was Gex, he's with me.
Holy shit. I didn't know we had Gex.
I'm recording a Gex audiobook right now for the novelization, so I've been doing his stupid voice.
There's a novelization?
Wait, are you serious? You're not serious.
No shot. That's
I'm
true.
dead serious. I bought it off eBay and I decided to record myself reading the whole book.
Oh, jeez.
I don't know how deep in.
I'm your
deep
target
in the well you
demographic for
go,
that.
or something like.
That's dedication.
I guarantee at least 5 people here would listen to it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna post it when I'm done, but I've gotten really sick of doing his voice because he's the narrator.
Oh no.
Wait, so this is serious? This is real?
Yeah, I've recorded, I think it's like 7 chapters. I've recorded like 4 chapters.
Oh my god.
I have no idea what's true anymore. This feels like Donkey Kong.
Yeah, I'm serious. This isn't a bit. I have it right next to me.
Caleb's saying you want to do a vinyl release of that, Frank, in the chat, so it might be worth it in the end.
I mean, yeah, let's do it.
I'm sorry, I mean Gex, not Frank.
Oh.
Joey in chat brings up a good point. So also, we are not doing Mega Man and Final Fantasy games because there's
Just
too
'cause-
many.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because fuck those games.
Yeah, fuck Mega Man, fuck Final Fantasy. Why is there so many?
I heard all the best Mega Man games are on the PlayStation.
That's true.
Well, I've only played the X4 through 8 like one time only.
There's too
But
many
I
fucking
enjoyed-
costumes.
What?
In the later games, there's so much
Uh-huh.
fucking armor. It's crazy.
They just got
I
crazy.
liked some of it, like where you basically had like a plane, like an airplane armor. I don't remember the names of those because X1 through X3 and then 1 through 9 are pretty much my wheelhouse. I liked Mega Man 8.
I'm
I
like,
think
that was-
I don't know how I feel about 8. It's okay.
It has some good music, but we're not talking about that today.
fuck Mega Man.
Did everyone here grow up with a PlayStation?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were a Sony Nintendo household.
Was there a
Nope.
game in particular that made you want the console, or did you kind of just get it?
My
from
older brother got mine, or got it for my household. So
That sounds
Same.
to me. Yeah.
That's also the same with me. I was
Oh my
like 3
goodness.
years old.
Damn, we're all player 2 Luigi's.
Yeah.
I can safely say that I became the player 1 across all video games. I
Yeah,
became
my brother
the
sucks at video games.
the good sibling in video games. I would my brother would get a game and I would start playing it and beat it before him, and then he'd never touch it again,
That's how.
which I always felt bad about.
My brother turned to the dark side and became a PC gamer.
I thought you were gonna say mobile gamer.
I guess I'm a mobile gamer.
Right. How could you do this to us?
I put a lot of time into that Genshin Impact.
Did you say you were a free to play? You didn't dump money into it? I can't
I
remember.
will not put $1 into any game on mobile. I will just play it as slow as I need to.
Yeah, I don't really remember much for PS1 games, like as far as the reason to play them. I remember Pizza Hut demos and like Tony Hawk specifically.
uh-huh. I remember loving the demo disc because I don't know. I think PS1 was the first console that I don't think they made demo cartridges, but I never had a Sega CD, so I don't know if they made demo discs for Sega CD or anything like that.
Sega Saturn had demo discs, and 3DO had a demo disc.
Uh-huh. Okay. Well, it was my first console with like a demo disc system, and so like I remember playing the shit out of Jumping Flash, and that was like one of the first demo discs because that was like a launch title with PlayStation, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a launch title, and they just released it on PS5 too as part of the new like PSN Premium thing, along with Ape Escape.
Ape Escape was one of those games on that demo disc set that
Mm-hmm.
also was like, oh, I want to play more of the monkey game.
Yeah, I definitely
Mhm.
played Ape Escape first on that Pizza Hut demo.
Right.
It sticks out to me as the only game I can think of that like my little tiny baby brain like desperately desired to play, and I never did until much later. But the monkeys and the ads made the serotonin go wee woo.
Mm-hmm.
I can safely say I think it holds up very well. I just played through the game 100% like 2 weeks ago. Still perfectly playable. Still,
Yeah, it's pretty like it's still not a game that not many games follow the format of like how you control the player in this. and that still makes it unique to this day, I think.
Like using the stick to swing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The only thing I hate about this game is the stupid boat controls. I could never get used to those.
I feel like
Or,
boats
like-
have always plagued video games with how they control.
They make it so each analog stick is like an oar, like controls an arm holding the oar,
Oh,
and it just makes me want to die. I hate it.
Think about that. It just confuses me even trying to conceptualize.
that's too much brain power for Ape Escape.
But everything else is top tier.
It's just shocking that there is no Spyro boot. Like, where is the love for Spyro?
I feel like that's
Yeah.
an inevitable one, but it also is weird that we only have that that Crash release and never saw any of the sequels.
They missed their opportunity. They didn't miss an opportunity, but I thought they would have put one out when the Spyro trilogy, the reignited trilogy, came out.
Like official? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, Insomniac, or who was that? Who developed that game?
I think it's Insomnia, right? I think so.
That sounds right.
I always get Insomniac and some other company confused.
Naughty Dog. That's the one.
No, not Naughty Dog.
That's what I was
forget.
thinking.
The one that which company made the Sly Cooper games?
I don't know.
It's like a Ubisoft game?
Sucker Punch, yeah, Sucker Punch and Insomniac. For some reason, I always get those confused.
Does Insomniac have any release? What I don't know. There was that newest Ratchet and Clank, and I don't know if that one was still by Insomniac, but I imagine it probably was, right?
I think so. I think they still do that series, and they did the Spider-Man games.
Yeah, it feels like one of those soundtracks that will be gotten to eventually, one way or the other, whether it's boot or official.
It's been so long since everything's kind of started. I'm still shocked that hasn't been touched. Is there anything else you guys would want to see from PS1 or surprised? hasn't been
Definitely
done?
Ape Escape. Ape Escape's my
Yeah.
number one.
Yeah.
Such a
Brave
good like.
Fencer is probably my number one.
Brave Fencer Musashi.
Yeah.
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 There's this game that I feel like no one else ever played called The Bombing Islands. With this little clown guy, I forget his name, but it had a absolutely banging clowny soundtrack, and that's a game I'd love to see, but I think that's probably about the least likely thing to happen.
A clown
I own that
soundtrack.
game. I own that game. Never played it.
I don't know why. I must have rented it or something.
And it's stuck out since then.
Yeah, it's in my brain. I think being the little weirdo child I was, I liked doing the little puzzles. I don't
I
think
definitely bought it from like a bargain bin way later in life, but I don't think I ever actually played it.
I think liking puzzles like at the age of 6 or 7 is a weird sign. It says something bad about you. But yeah, Ape Escape's I would think probably pretty high up there besides Spyro for like
Hmm.
most desired PlayStation 1 releases that haven't happened yet.
Mhm.
People are saying
Final Fantasy.
Einhander.
that had a tape,
Yeah.
but no vinyl pressing yet, obviously.
It's a
Final
neat
Fantasy
soundtrack.
Tactics
Oh yeah.
would be.
No Final
Tactics, I'm
Fantasy.
surprised that hasn't been done.
Yeah,
Illegal.
please don't bring up Final Fantasy.
We cannot talk
Oh, yeah.
about that contractually. Real quick, speaking of contracts, the Channel 3 Records hat is on sale for 2 more days over at what is the website? Channel
CH3
CH3.
Records.
CH3 Records .com.
.gov.
You can get the hat and use code trash for a discount.
I didn't know the hat was only a limited time pre-order.
I think it is being made like with the amount that is ordered or something maybe like
I see.
that. So check that out, get a hat so that we can get review copies of the hat.
We're gonna start getting review apparel before we get review records.
That's right.
I know people would probably like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 on vinyl too.
That was the Tony Hawk I played the most, so absolutely.
Did you
There's
guys
more
play
Tony
that on
Hawk out
PS1?
No, I played that on GameCube.
Oh, was that PS2 or?
It came out on PS1, but I mean, it was so late into it that it simultaneously
No.
came out on like the next gen ones as well.
My
like-
friend definitely had it on PS1, but I played 3 and 4 on PC actually.
I played the PS1 version of 4 recently. It's so stripped down and terrible.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah, that sounds wild that they were able to still do that.
I imagine 3 is like similar situation where it's just like a watered down version of the
Mm.
game.
And I guess I mean that is kind of a new thing. Like for console gaming was having licensed tracks in games. Like I know PS1 wasn't the first disc-based system, but it clearly is the most popular of the initial disc-based systems. And so I always associate like licensed tracks with Tony Hawk's Pro Skater and Wipeout and oh god, so many more.
Every
Well, like
sports
Sony
game.
was already a household name, like in electronics. Like
I'm sorry, what was?
Sony, just Sony in general.
Yeah.
So when they made a video game system, everybody was like, "Fuck yes."
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was going to mock the idea of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 being pressed because I'm not a huge fan of mixtape records, and I was gonna say you can just buy yourself an Alien Ant Farm CD, but apparently Alien Ant Farm do not have any vinyl pressing, so that
Damn.
might be the only way you
That's
ever have
crazy.
access.
What a travesty.
I was really looking into this joke to make sure it was valid, and it
messed
wasn't.
up.
So yeah, so you guys can still have it.
That the podcast will be pressing the Alien Ant Farm album soon. We are in contact with them. They're very excited.
This is a controversial opinion. No one's gonna like this opinion. I don't really like the soundtrack to Tony Hawk 3.
That's fine.
I don't remember it because, like I
And-
said, I played them on or PC, and so you could just swap out the soundtrack for whatever you want to put in the MP3 folder.
I like the one Dell, the funky
Yeah.
Homo sapien song. Like that's about it. I
was
don't
gonna
really
say-
like anything else.
That song, I with 100% certainty have never listened to it outside of Tony Hawk 3, and I think about it frequently, like nearly weekly. I'm thinking of the lyrics from that song, and it had to be at least 2 decades since I last heard it. I feel like.
It's a good song. It's a good album. Do you every game back then I felt like had the remix of Dragula on its
Uh-huh.
soundtrack, specifically the remix version.
It was just a popular song then.
Jet Grind Radio had one.
Yeah, it was in that game. It was in Gran Turismo. It was in Sled Storm. It was in Twisted Metal 4.
Jeez.
Even more. I think like Test Drive 6. I think it was in.
A lot for one song.
Are
Do you all
arguably the
have-
greatest song of our generation.
Yes.
Do you all have any opinions or
Got a lot of those.
objections to the fact that that bootlegs put out like there are bootlegs of license or like licensed soundtracks rather than original soundtracks? Do you think that's a
Like Tony Hawk
controversy?
type?
Yeah, or or Grand Theft Auto even.
Well, Grand Theft Auto was. Oh,
Yeah,
well,
it's a little bit different.
The pressing was original music,
Right.
Uh-huh.
but the lathes
Well,
are not.
yeah.
Obviously.
And then there's also like people did pressings of some of the San Andreas
Oh, true. I forgot
radio
about that one.
stations, and
Yeah.
the Vice City ones I think are all lathes, but
Yeah,
Mhm.
the Los Santos radio or Los Santos radio, or whatever that one was.
Yeah.
And then there's 2 other volumes actually. You don't see those around very frequently, but
Usually not.
yeah, I had neglected that. I'm not a fan. I don't have any moral obligation to it, but or moral objection rather. I just don't care about listening to a bunch
I
of.
think for me it really depends on the context and like how much I associate that music with the game.
Exactly.
Um, Like I feel like Tony Hawk, pretty much all those songs in Tony Hawk 1 and 2, I can't hear them without thinking of the games.
Yeah.
Does that release a favor for sure?
But then there's other stuff, like I think some of the Grand Theft Autos is like, I don't really need that.
Yeah, I definitely agree there.
Let's bring in one of our waiting room guests. See what they think about PlayStation's one. I see Caleb, who has that hat that we're trying to work on selling.
You sold a copy already, or a copy?
We got one. We sold it.
a hat.
With code trash.
Confirmed. I checked. Code trash was used.
Oh my god. That's
There we go.
that's
That's all it
great.
takes.
That's why we
What-
do
what-
it, baby.
What discount do you get with Code Trash?
You get 1 cent.
1 cent off.
Oh,
The
wow.
discount.
Fucking amazing.
Hey man, a penny saved is a penny earned.
True that.
You're welcome.
And that penny goes straight to our ad revenue, so you're supporting us.
I don't know if you saw it, but review copies go to everyone here as long as they buy them.
Okay. Gotcha.
I didn't
I
hear
don't
that
know how I get
caveat
this
earlier.
monkey.
What, the monkey and the UFO?
Yeah, I don't know how I get him.
Just
Do I have
jump.
to
You have to get something later on in the game and come back.
Slingshot, yeah, I think you need the slingshot.
Backtrack
Okay.
to the monkey. Is it like lagging out of its mind, or is
Yeah.
it okay? Does the game
Well-
do that normally?
I don't think maybe it's not lagging on your end, but on the stream
It
It's
is a little
jittery.
slow.
Yeah, it's a little.
Okay.
It was just, the power of the PS1. It can't be contained.
It cannot.
Emulators do it no justice.
Uh-huh.
So we got Caleb, who does do some record stuff, I guess, as
Mhm.
some would say.
Do you have you released a PS1 game?
Guilty Gear, baby.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah.
Wait,
Well, I guess
wait,
that's
that's
not
good.
released yet,
Oh yeah, but
it's forthcoming.
You want the exclusive? You want the hotness on that?
always.
Should be leaving the pressing plant this week.
Oh, that's so
Okay.
Pog Champion.
But the bad news is we're still waiting on the flexi discs, so I can't ship
Damn
them
it.
yet.
We were so close.
Yep.
Q3, baby. That's all that matters.
Yeah, just as soon as it's a day later than the production timeline, just make sure you bash me.
Absolutely. Anyone listening right now, feel free to do that.
Just want you
go
to
to
know,
the contact form. Just
The
start sending messages.
the show is always open for you to make public apologies. For your accolades. You need-
Yeah. So yeah,
Your
Guilty
platform.
Gear. Might be another one coming at some point.
Let's
Mm,
talk potential games that aren't coming that you'd like to see. I guess within the realm that you think you might be able to get, but might also be a pipe dream.
Oh boy. Well, I can't. Well, I can't say the one that I want to say because
Well,
it's ongoing.
Because
Yeah.
then Scott will go after it.
Yeah, that's just dirty Canadians just gonna just swoop in. You know how impolite Canadians are known to be. I don't know. That's a really good question. I always really liked the driver games. I can't really say that I recall any of the music too much, but I would say that was maybe in the realm of possibility. I don't know exactly where the rights lie to that now, since it was maybe I bet Ubisoft probably has it. They published it if I remember.
What if the question was, what's a game you would want to see that has absolutely no
Let's
chance
go with
of
that. Yeah.
Okay, we can do that.
Besides Gex, obviously.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's a given. I mean, would like a full comprehensive of Parappa account? I mean, I know we have the promo disc, but I don't think we'll ever see a full Parappa release
so.
anytime soon.
Yeah.
You know, with Vib Ribbon, and I'm assuming Vib Ribbon was pretty successful, right?
Yeah, I mean, it sold
I-
out.
I-
I just
don't
looked for it
really-
the other day and I couldn't get it.
I don't really see what the difference is. I mean, if they could put a Vib Ribbon out, why wouldn't they be able to put Parappa out?
Who knows? Sometimes rights holders get like really oddly like protective of certain IPs. I don't know. I don't think it would happen anytime soon, but you know, I'm hoping I'm wrong on that. Rayman, the original Rayman. I don't think Ubisoft would ever go back to the PS1 Rayman and release that. They
Rabbids
may have a more
only.
recent one, but
One that you did mention LSD Dream Emulator on your list, huh, Alex?
Yeah.
That's one I was thinking of. I'm trying to recall some that we didn't have yet, but that one I was so happy to see done. That was one of those types of soundtracks where I really wouldn't have expected it to happen, and that one had such a great little presentation to it.
As much as I love that release, I really wish the sequencing was different on it. I don't like the remix tracks like blended in with the regular tracks. Like I wish they were just all separated. Other than that, it's a good release.
Yeah, if you don't think about it too much, and just play it a little. I guess I have the luxury of like I've not played that game firsthand, but I love the composer.
Well, the way the music works in the game is very different than how the soundtrack sounds.
Yeah. Isn't it all like reactive in the game, or am I mistaken there?
So the game has like hundreds of audio tracks, like backing tracks, playing at the same time, but at most of them are always muted. And I think it's just a random selection of ones you get that are unmuted, and they're all kind of synced with each other. I don't know. There's a word for that. I don't know what you'd call it, but it's basically like randomly generated. And the songs on the soundtrack version are sort of those backing tracks made into like fully realized songs. And there are some cutscenes in the game that do use those full versions from the soundtrack, but for the most part, the music in LSD, and you could look it up on YouTube, like the full soundtrack of LSD, it's like 7 hours long or something insane like that. If you take every individual track that the disc has.
It's really impressive. Like that was one that I like always knew about, and then it was always on the expensive end on Ship to Shore, but then they had a sale and I was able to get it for like 50% off, and that was the deal I was waiting for, and I've been very happy with it ever since. Even though it probably doesn't hold a candle to the CD release.
Well, it has more than the CD release. It's just sort of the sequencing is just sort of odd on it.
I know I mentioned it in the chat, but Ridge Racer 4 would be another one that I think it would be super cool to have on vinyl.
I think everyone wants that one.
Everyone wants it.
There are Ridge Racers on vinyl, right?
I think like
Promo?
one,
I think
Yeah.
there's one.
and it's like a remix album or something, or like
Right.
a
Okay, yeah.
remix single or something like that.
Something weird.
The music in 4 is like a lot different than the other ones, though. It's a lot more chill.
Yeah, I was just looking up that Ridge Racer release came out in 1996, and it is a bunch of just like jazz step remixes, like I don't know, just like club mixes, like just a bunch of random mixes, not really any of the true source material.
But what are some PS1 games that you like that are already out on vinyl, Caleb?
Metal Gear Solid. I mean, who doesn't like that? That's like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
PS1 game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to rack my brain for things that are not Final Fantasy and Mega Man that are on.
It's like it's a
They're on
pretty
vinyl already.
extensive list, but you kind of don't
We got
realize.
Pepsi Man showing on the screen right now.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
One that I never thought would happen, but somehow it did.
Yeah, and somehow 2 came out at the same time. Two
And
different ones.
It was not confusing at all.
Silent Hill.
Silent Hill is such a good album to put on Halloween. If you want to scare your neighbors.
One of the ones I was glad about as well is Medieval. That was one of my mainstay games when I was younger. It doesn't really have like a particularly like I don't know, stunning soundtrack, I wouldn't say, but the nostalgia value for that was very high for me.
Yeah, and that was definitely another one of those that I played the hell out of on the demo discs.
The only audio I can think of is Daniel screaming whenever he gets hit. The music does not stick out in my brain. What is that disc on the screen currently? That like image?
That's the Clock Tower one.
I believe that's what it is.
Yeah, there was a 7-inch release for like the 20th anniversary of Clock Tower.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, and one of the sides is the PlayStation side. One side's like the Super Nintendo or Super Famicom, a remix from the Super Famicom, and then the other one's a remix for the
Yeah.
PlayStation.
I really saved the wrong Resident Evil.
I think you saved them both.
I sure did.
But
Oops.
There's a Wipeout 2097 on vinyl, I think, right?
Yeah, we were
Yeah.
talking about that before.
Yeah, that's good.
it's yeah.
But that would be an example of a licensed compilation album.
Yeah.
I feel like the difference in like the Wipeout versus something like Vice City is like I don't know how many people would actually hear those electronic songs anywhere else.
As a kid, like I'm sure that was the first time.
I ever heard Future
people-
Sound of London or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I mean, the
Yeah, I get-
Prodigy was big, but
Yeah.
some of that other stuff, yeah. I think there's like some Chemical Brothers on there too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember the music. Oh, it says them on the cover there. Yeah, Chemical Brothers, Prodigy.
Now it's gone into
Good
Tekken.
one. I'm surprised that my stream is actually like in sync. Usually
Yeah.
I'm behind.
We made some changes, upgrades.
Did you?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Nope, I am lying.
Oh. I was noticing that too, though. Usually it's like 5 seconds behind what the stream's showing.
Kind of going the opposite direction. Bubsy 3D would be somewhat terrible, but at the same time enjoyable to have on vinyl.
It'd be a good like meme release.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like Glover, I guess.
But then,
Except I don't think that was trying to be meme. But
yeah, someone would have to actually do it then, and sell it, and you'd have to buy it, and like, then what happens?
Bankruptcy.
Mhm.
Just like Bubsy.
Poor Bubsy.
But yeah, the PlayStation 1 was it was the most console.
It was one of the consoles of all time.
It
So
really
true.
was.
I do worry that Pico's been like talking all this time.
I'm always,
It's a
I'm
valid
always worried
concern.
about that.
It
I got really high, and I may or may have not fell asleep.
Oh no!
This is the first time this has ever happened.
Long time host, first time
Well,
sleeper.
Gotta hit the bong to wake up.
A classic. Yeah,
But PS1 soundtracks, yeah. Did we already talk about Resident Evil?
No,
No.
bring us into Resident Evil.
Well, what a transition then.
Thank you.
There are some horror soundtracks that just like don't stick out in my mind as soundtracks, and yeah, Resident Evil definitely is one of them. Like I don't have much recollection of it at all.
The first game,
Like
the first Resident Evil.
yeah, like I remember the intro cutscenes, and like everything else is just like I was that I was sucked into the game, and so I was just like not like not just individually picking out the music or paying attention to that stuff, you know?
I think if you hear some of it, you might
Yeah.
it might start to sound familiar, especially
Oh,
like
absolutely.
the save room music and stuff. There are
Yeah.
also two different soundtracks for Resident Evil, that, depending on which version you played. Because there's the DualShock director's cut version.
Oh yeah.
Which has that's the one that has the infamous basement music.
So good.
I think the only Resident Evil that really sticks out in my brain is 4 for the soundtrack. 4 had some really cool ambient tunes on it, but
I mean, it stands out a lot to me, but it's also because I've played 4 like 20 times, so
I also completed 4 very fucking many times on like 3 different consoles. So that
Yeah.
very well could be it.
And Resident Evil 4, like I don't recall if it were there new game pluses in the first 2 Resident Evils?
well, there were. I don't think so, but there are different campaigns. Like you had
Yeah.
Jill's campaign, Chris's campaign.
Yeah. I
And
think
then-
what Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say like 2 had 4 different campaigns because you had two
Yeah.
different Leons, 2 different Claires.
Yeah. I do recall that like the reason I was able to get into Resident Evil 4 soundtrack so much was just like how many new game pluses you could do, and just like go through basically once you completed the Resident Evil 4 the first time, second time you played through was like easy mode, and then when you got the Chicago typewriter, it was like just
Easiest
like
mode.
walking through the game, yeah.
Infinite
so you could really-
rocket launcher.
Yeah, you could really just like listen to the soundtrack at that point as you're playing through it. But,
Hopefully,
like,
the remake will deliver as far as the soundtrack.
Real quick, we have a small waiting room this week, so I'm just gonna add them as we go a little bit. I'm gonna add Ben here. Chat with
Oh.
us about some PS1 games and their soundtracks.
We haven't talked about Symphony of the Night yet, and I know that's one of your favorites, Atrix.
That is.
Symphony of the Nights, yeah.
I'm surprised you remembered that. I feel like I do not talk about that, but yeah, that game fucks. Probably one of my favoriteest PS1 games that I didn't play on PS1.
You played on Saturn, or
No, I played it on the 360.
I don't think
Oh.
I don't think did it come out on Saturn in the U.S. I don't even think it did.
Oh, I don't know. All I know from the soundtrack is that it has like Sega Saturn bonus tracks on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Saturn version came out later, and they added some content to it. But I think like it's not a very good port
Yeah.
as far as like how it plays. Like I think it's kind of I don't know. From what I hear, I've never played the Saturn one.
But yeah, hey Ben.
Hello.
What PS1 soundtracks have you collected and loved, or what are ones you hope to see soon?
I don't have too many that I've collected, but I mean, we've talked about how there isn't, too much out there. Pepsi Man's probably my favorite one. I got that one pretty recently, and that's fantastic. I got the 12-inch one.
That's really the only one to go after.
I got Parappa just like a week ago. It came in. That's been really fun to spin.
Did you get like the complete set, like with the Vinyl Killer van and everything?
Nah, unfortunately not. No pins either. But it was like $50, so I got like a good deal on it. But
Yeah,
would
that's
have
a
been
good
nice
deal.
to have the rest.
Yeah, that was a different time in the vinyl community when they paired the Vinyl Killer with the release because they assumed that you're not actually gonna have a turntable, and so they gave you the most damaging way to play the record.
It was actually called that, right?
Yeah.
That's just what they're called, yeah.
Oh, is that like a thing?
Just in general, yeah, those vans.
So aptly named.
Would have been a cool gimmick, but yeah, I don't know that I would have gone for it anyway, because I don't want to kill my vinyl, man.
You gotta. It's required.
If you want to hear it, I think Anthony uploaded a video of him using the van on the record. If you want to hear what it actually sounds
man.
like,
Oh, I gotta check that out.
it sounds absolutely terrible. And like the speed will constantly change, like as it circles around.
Oh, jeez. I think in terms of one of my top ones is probably the Harvest Moon, just so we don't have any representation of that yet, which is so weird to me. But Back to Nature was like Back to Nature.
Oh.
Yeah. That was my first Harvest Moon.
Are they still not allowed to use the name Harvest Moon?
I don't think so.
Wasn't that a thing? Like they couldn't use that name anymore, and they had to change the series name or something.
So Harvest Moon is still being made by I think a different company, but the people who originally made Harvest Moon, make something with a different name.
Oh, okay.
Did they make Rune Factory? The original team.
Don't know. Someone's bound to know more about this than me. That is all I know.
Just thinking in terms of like likelihood it would get an official release. Like I don't know if the name would prevent them from doing that or anything like that.
Like, is that what Story of Seasons is? I didn't realize.
Oh yeah.
That's I didn't realize they had to change their name to that.
Oh,
I didn't know that either. Wow.
So that's what it's
I
called.
had seen that before, but I didn't realize it was the same.
If only we had Kim.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but I think it was like a legal reason they had to change it.
Yeah. But hopefully we get.
Is there one on
Gex
Switch? Is there a Story of Seasons on Switch?
Let me go. Oh wait, Channel 3's there. Yes?
What came out last year?
So? Yeah, you can.
there's a couple of them. Jesus.
They've been busy, I guess, not being Harvest Moon. Huh.
I really liked Vagrant Story as a kid, but I don't remember the soundtrack all too well.
Oh, the soundtrack kicks ass to that game.
Okay.
Vagrant Story.
All those. There's another one for the Wii that I really wanted from SquareSoft too. That just one of those other
Pandora
SquareSoft
Tower.
games that don't get talked about too much.
Last Story.
Last Story, that's it. Yep.
Yeah.
The composer for Vagrant Story, Hitoshi Sakamoto, he said it like Vagrant Story is his best work. Like he believes it is.
Wow.
And he did like so many good soundtracks, like Final Fantasy Tactics, Final Fantasy 12.
Oh wow.
Valkyria Chronicles, bunch of stuff.
Valkyria's good.
I had Joey join.
Yeah, I'm here now.
Against
What's
our wills.
up? When's Spyro coming?
It's not.
That's my favorite. I fucking love Spyro.
Big ass purple dragon.
Yo, big ass purple dragon indeed. That's crazy. I didn't even have to say it this time.
Didn't. That feels almost weird that it wasn't you.
Oh, don't worry, it's coming. It's coming.
I'm sure it is.
And it better be the original Spyro music, not the remade one.
No.
Remade boot.
Was that an issue with Stuart Copeland? Was that the whole thing?
No, they have the Stuart Copeland music on there. Thankfully, you can toggle it on. But and Stuart Copeland composed a new track for the menus too.
What's going on there?
That's the drummer
if it ain't broke,
Police?
don't fix it though.
What?
It
What'd you
sounds
say?
like did
What?
they change something with the Spyro soundtrack on the remake?
Yeah, there's they redid all of the music, but you could also like put the old music
Oh,
on
okay.
too.
That's what I'm saying. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I don't understand the need to redo the music.
Just don't fuck
Yeah,
with
he's
it.
the drummer for the Police.
There was no
I
need.
didn't know he
redo it.
did the soundtrack
Wait,
for Spyro.
seriously?
What the
That's
fuck?
wild.
This isn't a bit? The drummer
No,
of the
You guys,
police?
you guys really
This is
didn't know
not
that
Donkey
Stuart
Kong
Copeland-
Payback.
No!
It's not a bit.
It's
He
not
also-
a bit either. I don't know what
and
you're
he
talking
also-
about.
He also
Donkey
did the
Kong
theme,
Payback was a bit.
he also did the theme to the Amanda Show, which is just
Wow.
That's so wild.
It's literally just a song from Spyro. It's like what was it?
The true polymath.
There's some song in Spyro that's just literally the Amanda Show theme song. It's like Wizard's Peak or something. It's
I'm
like literally
learning a
the same
lot.
I
song.
need to know this.
Here, I'm in the chat. I just put a link to the comparison.
Oh my god.
Wait, I shouldn't watch this
Yeah,
right now.
Frank, you were right.
Oh, wow.
It was just Wizard Peak.
Huh.
This is insane.
What's that? Oh.
What a night. What a night this is, everyone.
What's your favorite Gex?
Gex 3 is the best one.
I never actually played a Gex.
I like Gex Symphony of the Night.
I only know
That's
about
a good
Gex
one.
because Scott the Was. That's the only reason.
Gex 3D.
2 and 3 are 3D, right? But the first one's not. I think.
But aren't they
What's
all
Oh, everyone-
everyone's
3D too.
favorite?
Like really shitty 3D.
Gex Payback was good.
Gex Payback was a lot better than the first Gex Payback.
What console was that one on?
Gamecast.
The big GameCube.
The big game.
The big ass haunted GameCube.
Yeah, that's classic.
What's everyone's favorite song from the original Tony Hawk's Pro Skater?
Oh yeah.
Superman.
Gotta think about that.
Basic pitch.
Jerry was a race car driver.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I'd have to go with that one too.
Fun.
follow
Just
up.
because I actually like Primus, I listened to Primus outside of Tony Hawk, so.
Honorable mention to Police Truck by the Dead Kennedys and
That's cool.
Psycho Vision by Suicidal Tendencies.
Yeah, those are. When I was first playing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, I was really into ska, and so I really liked New Girl.
It's a good one. I really like that song by the Ernies too, Here and Now.
Yeah.
Say hi, Ernie's.
Hi, Ernie's.
Real quick, since we are nearing the top of the hour,
Did we talk about vinyl?
no. I'm looking.
Not
We
really.
kind of talked just about the games, which is kind of also the point. The few
We
that
never even got to Tekken.
we didn't talk about Tekken. We didn't talk about Bust a Groove or Parasite Eve. But I think
Aramis, you like
Smooth.
Tekken, right?
Tekken is the best fighting game soundtrack that I also do not own. All of the games. I don't know why I still haven't bought any of those to
It's
this
just
day.
the
I own
latest
none
weight.
of them. I love it. I love Tekken, and I still own none of them.
What's so
And
good
the-
about the Tekken soundtrack? Like, what
It's
makes it different
just-
from other fighting games?
It's just like I don't.
It fucks.
The specific
Good-ass techno
brand.
music.
Yeah, the specific brand of techno is like super fun and like.
Here's a question, because Tekken 3 has two different soundtracks, and on the lace set they include both of them. Because there's a PlayStation soundtrack and there's an arcade soundtrack, and they're pretty different.
Oh.
So which one do you prefer?
Liking the PlayStation one more.
I think the PlayStation 1 is more like has a lot of is more rock based, right? Like it has more guitar.
Is it? Am I mixing them up? I thought that was the more like electronic inspired one.
Okay, it's hard for me to recall. I know the arcade music pretty well, but I can't remember the PlayStation music as much. But I know both are really good.
Yeah, that series has some deranged music that's just excellent.
The other game we didn't talk about was Klonoa.
Oh yeah, that was a game I
Yeah.
just never played.
That was a ship to shore,
Yes.
I think.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I played the game, but I forgot just about everything about it. But that is also just what I do.
I like the second one a lot more than the first one.
Mega Man Legends. Oh yeah, we're
No
doing
Mega
the Mega
Man.
Man episode.
No,
Okay.
Mega Man!
What the fuck?
One
Do you
think the-
two fucking rules.
Do you think the flying enemies in the stage kind of look like Ugandan Knuckles?
They do, yeah. I've been fumbling my way through this stage.
Just with wings. I probably should have pointed it out while one was on screen.
Yeah,
but-
now I'm
No,
looking
now-
and it's just
I'm
like
waiting. I'm
Hold
waiting
on,
anxiously for it.
I can't remember if they respawn, but I'll go through a door and try to respawn.
Jump
one.
off a ledge to respawn.
Okay.
we did
We
not
need it.
talk
Oh, there you
about
go.
Digimon World. Those would be neat, but no one had brought it up to the Ernie in chat, who's been
All right.
carrying us in
These
our
guys.
chat.
Hi, Ernie.
Hello, Ernie.
Are you looking at the screen right
There
now?
they are.
Aramis?
I could see it.
Another really good techno soundtrack is the Ghost in the Shell game.
Yeah. Now that one is an expensive one to find, isn't it?
A little bit. I think you could find it for under 100 though.
Okay. I for some reason always had in the back of my mind that Wipeout and Ghost in the Shell were always prohibitively expensive to try and find. So I never really looked after them.
I don't think either of them are too bad. If you really want them, you could find them for a decent price. I mean, those were pressed in the 90s, so
Yeah.
there's probably plenty of copies. Plus, the Ghost in the Shell has multiple versions because it got pressed in Europe and it got pressed in Japan, so there's different ones.
The picture disc, that's the really expensive one.
Oh, maybe.
That one's like, I think, like hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, probably. I forgot that even existed. I was just thinking it was in black.
Well, now that you're saying it live on the Twitch podcast, people are going to be looking all over for it. Prices are going up.
Stonks.
Cool looking picture disc too.
Very unique soundtrack compared to the movie score too. It sounds nothing like it.
So I don't think we have anything explicit planned for next week, right?
Oh, we do.
I'm just gonna have a. Oh, we do.
Uh-oh.
No.
You got
I was gonna
We-
say we
we
might
don't-
have just a traditional gossip podcast.
Oh my goodness, it's been a while.
We don't
There's
have
a lot
anything.
of
It's been a
gossip that's been
while.
piling up.
I'm sure Atrex will come up with a really good show on Sunday for us to do a comprehensive 3-hour episode about.
I will be at the DC meetup, so
Well, you
Maybe.
Let's go. DC meetup.
You can crowdsource your idea.
that's right.
That'll be a fun thing to talk about, actually,
That will be.
So jealous of the DC meetup.
because there's a lot of people there, right?
I think we were at around 11.
Wow.
members. We'll be showing up DC this week, so
Everyone sharing a hotel room.
I
Yeah,
think so.
we're all stacked on top of each other like Lincoln Logs.
Yeah.
The meetup is actually an orgy.
Video game.
Listen to that
vinyl.
fake laugh from Joey.
He's just mad that he's not invited to the orgy part.
That is exactly what I'm angry about. I'm fuming.
You hate to hear it.
So yeah, if you live near the DC area, come hang out with me while everyone else is at the orgy. I'll be standing outside the Smithsonian, apologizing to the Secret Service. That's where they stay, right?
That is where they stay.
The lore is I've been visited by the Secret Service.
Incredible.
What a night.
All right, everyone, make the PlayStation 1 noise as we leave the podcast.
Boom.
Go get your Channel 3 hats in the next 2 days. Code Trash, get a cent off.
Because I'm a bitch!
Good night.